Warning, if you or someone you know is considering committing suicide, please call this number on the screen right now. Fuck you! Because I would rather be open and honest about my feelings and alive because of that than dead because I kept the feelings bottled up inside me until I couldn't take it anymore and then I jumped in front of a car. You mentioned suicide, you think they're gonna lock you in an insane asylum.
Please make it easier for someone to get material help here.
Some, like UBC's president, admit it can become so serious that they've actually considered suicide.
I tried to kill myself twice, once at the age of 14 and once in my late 20s.
It was at that point, at that specific point, under the mountain of months of built-up and sustained stress that I was under, that I snapped. And when I snapped, I wrote this Facebook post. Last night, I tried to do something fun. But as everything goes in my life, nothing can go right, and it always results in an entire day or night adventure that always results in me losing money to shit I can't afford, and hating my life thereafter. I wanted to partake in the local Astronomy Society's public stargazing event, and on my way into the observatory, I got my van stuck in 2 feet of snow, and without a cell phone on me, had to wait until someone else came by. They couldn't help me get out of what was too far stuck, so I decided to hike down to the observatory to see if anyone there could help. I got there to find the entire place bolted up, and not knowing what to do or how to get my vehicle out, decided that pushing the lock enough times would notify someone that I needed help desperately. By the time the 4-hour-long adventure was over, I was almost frozen to death and had dealt with 2 security officers and 1 policeman and had half a dozen people come by try to help me out. Burnt through half a tank of gas just to stay warm and had to wait forever for a tow truck to arrive. I think I need to be locked in a padded cell because it doesn't matter where I go or what I do, it's a damn catastrophe. This isn't the first or even the second time poor choices has led to a day that I wish I never got up. I don't even want to go buy groceries anymore for fear I'll somehow burn down the entire store and have to pay for it with the money I don't have. I'm tired of my parents cringing every time I phone home because they know it's just going to be another episode in the book that is my life where every day is miserable and depressing and it's going to cost them more damn money. And so it is that on top of this that I have once again lost another roommate at the end of this semester who cannot stand living with me or putting up with the shit or issues of my OCD caused in my life. And I don't blame them. I don't think any human being on earth is capable of accepting the shit I cause, which means I'm in for one very lonely life. I like guys. Not a problem anymore in 2018, except for my mental illness from hell, which prevents me from enjoying any of the quote, fun things in life that come with having sexual attraction. Since my OCD from birth has caused me to become mortally afraid of hair, body hair, pubic hair, for no goddamn reason at all. Which also means having a dislike for any pets that might otherwise comfort anyone unable to maintain human relationships or friendships. And it has completely destroyed my entire life and the connection I once had with my parents long ago. Don't believe me? Let me show you the things in my life that have been ruined. These are my clothes which I destroyed with bleach. These are my glasses that I destroyed with soap. These are my arms which have been ruined by the constant shaving over acne and pulling out my body hair. This is the floor which I wrecked with water, and the ceiling in my room below it has collapsed thanks to me. All stuff that cost my parents their hard-earned money to fix. I can't even afford it myself because not even Walmart will hire me. And applying to almost every place in Vancouver to work since there is nothing in tech that I've been rejected over and over because every single place won't hire me. I thought I could do shit. I've got 4 apps in the damn mobile store which proves my talent, but I feel useless because no one needs my skills for anything. And since no one wants to download and play my games, they only cost me hundreds and thousands of dollars in licensing each year because they are no good enough to make money from. I thought I would try freelancing this summer since nobody local wanted me, and that only resulted in getting scammed and hating myself further. I am an artist and have been drawing art for the past 6 years for a niche internet community known as the furry fandom, and have been told my art is very good. I even had tons of people wanting me to draw their character, but after a year of doing art for free, the moment I decided I needed to start making money, everyone abandoned me. And I've seen these same people spending hundreds of dollars on a single piece of art. My UFO club I started at the university, which has brought me the only happiness I've had this entire year, has been an abysmal failure as no one even wants the events. And now I'm out even hundreds of dollars as the Students' Union is too broke to equally fund all clubs on campus, so I got screwed over with everything I bought. I continue without avail to apply for jobs, and I am goddamn sick of having no money as most of my extra free cash goes to cleaning products. Meaning I have to get my food from the food bank like a helpless homeless man. I can't even go to counseling because they are booked solid for months at a time, and when I do finally get an appointment, I usually sleep through it anyways. Doesn't make a difference anyway. I've been put in and out of therapy since I was 6 years old, and it has never done a damn thing, plus I've tried at least 20 different medications for mental illness with no avail. It only costs me more money anyways for the drugs. I'm miserable every day and don't want to get up and go to school. I'm now almost done my 3rd year and honestly don't even know if I want to graduate anymore or whether it's worth it, when my prospective future is to be another citizen of welfare, a contributing member to Generation Jobless. I've not wanted anything more in my entire life but to work with computers. But this institution and this program is not for me. I sleep through half my classes and my grades are shit, in part due to sleeping through those classes. But mostly as a result of I don't give a shit what the material is. We never ever learn coding. All that gets taught is nothing but theory and archaic principles that don't even matter. I want to learn computer science, not the history of computer science. When all the professor can say is, I don't know how that works, or maybe you should Google it. I seriously question why my parents are paying $5,000 a semester for this bullshit. If this is a degree, then I do not want it. It makes me miserable, drains your life, and all you get is nothing worthwhile. I want to be recognized for what I am. I want to code. I want some company to need my programming skills. I don't want to live without income anymore, and I want to do something more productive and inspiring than solving useless math equations on paper. I am not religious and have so many issues against organized religion, but if there really is a God listening to this, this is my final plea. Enough is enough. I do not want to live in this miserable fucking life anymore. And as you can see, these are the pictures I've attached to this post. This is a picture of the clothing that I destroyed with bleach, including this one here that was the University of Lethbridge. Those pair of pants cost me $80. These are the glasses that I destroyed with soap. These are my arms, and to this day they still look like garbage because of the acne scars on them. This is my other arm. This is the floor, which I had to tarp because underneath is nothing but destroyed wood. When I finally moved out of that place, my parents had to fix that and pay from their pocket to do so. This is the guy who scammed me during the summer. And in response to my message to him, he said, "You will die horribly, you bastard. I'm sure you're one trouble broke bastard." Michael Scott doesn't even exist.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
This is another rejection notice from EA Games. Yet another rejection notice from Kabam Games. Yet another rejection notice from CA Technologies. And another rejection, and another. As a result of making that post, I was called into counseling within half an hour. Isn't it magical how when you're all of a sudden suicidal, people want to help? Otherwise, I'll see you in 2 weeks. I went and I met with the counselor, and they probably think that they saved my life. But again, I did not have a plan of action to kill myself on that specific day. I merely spoke of no longer wanting to live. In addition to that night I had 2 police officers come to my door to speak with me because they thought that I might be a threat to other students. I spoke with them and assured them that I was not. And now 2 years later, to this very day, I am not allowed to take classes on the physical campus of the U of L anymore because of that post. Because the dean of the university has deemed that I am a threat to both myself and other students. No fucking wonder. It is more advantageous to her to simply wave a magic wand and clear certain degree requirements through an online institution called Athabasca and have me take those courses remotely than to try to deal with and address the problems and the issues that have driven me to the point of suicide. My life is miserable. And to this day, I do not have a plan of action to kill myself, or cause harm to other students, or other people. I don't own a gun. I have never owned a gun. I don't even know where to buy a fucking gun if I wanted one. And I certainly don't have the money to afford it if I did. The most I can do is sit here and rant about it on Facebook and make YouTube videos about it. And yet I am deemed a threat. People are afraid of me because of the way I am. And I don't give a damn shit. On March 31st of 2017, Netflix introduced a brand new show called 13 Reasons Why. At the time, it was one of the most controversial subjects on the internet because people assumed that it glorified suicide.
The controversy surrounding that popular new Netflix series, 13 Reasons Why. The drama, which was co-produced by Selena Gomez, takes on the sensitive issue of teen suicide.
The show depicts the story of Hannah Baker, a high school student who is bullied by literally everyone in her class and is driven to kill herself. Prior to doing so, she records a tape depicting all of the reasons and all of the people that drove her to suicide. And every episode of this show focuses on one of these tapes. I understand the fear that people have regarding something like this, but not talking about it and reaching out to other people are the very things that drove Hannah Baker to commit suicide. And although she may be fictional, she depicts 1,000 other students who have done just the same as her. At the time of the show's release, people thought that it was dangerous because it maybe glorified suicide and maybe would drive other people to do the same. But the producers of the show determined in their analysis of the content that it was more beneficial to produce it than not.
The reality is, I applaud Selena Gomez. You had Lady Gaga on talking about mental health issues because we have to break the silence. And too often, young people, especially, suffer in silence thinking they're the only one. So you made the decision as parents, it's too much. But for so many kids, they may not have parents to talk to. They don't talk about it. And the reality is, it affects everyone.
They were not dissuaded from the maybe one or maybe two other people in the entire world who would commit suicide because of seeing the show, because they understood that the thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of other students who would be saved from watching the show and openly talking about their suicidal desires was more beneficial than not. That is why the show was produced. That is why I post about my suicidal desire on Facebook, and I make this video for you now. Because I want you to understand that if you need help, you need to make it verbally apparent. Nobody can help you if they don't know what's going on. And it's possible that nobody can help you if they do, but they certainly can't help you if they don't. And I want it to change. It needs to change. The demonetization of this subject needs to change. And the fear around it needs to change because you need to understand how it is that a person is driven to become suicidal. And it is for the very reasons of shunning them and disbanding them and preventing them from partaking in society that drives them to the point of suicide. Now, 2 years later, I am forbidden from taking classes at the University of Lethbridge because the dean has deemed that I am a threat. And that is how everyone on this planet treats the subject. It is more beneficial to cover it up than to talk about it.
The university remains tight-lipped on what happened. These temporary drywall barriers were put up just hours ago. Not a quick enough response, according to this student.
My question is, why weren't there temporary barriers put up when they began planning it? If they knew it was an issue, why didn't they put temporary barriers up? We outlined that they should increase hours, obviously, that they should increase the amount of counseling, that they should properly advertise all of their services, that they should create a peer support system for students in CS and students in engineering.
The university says permanent safety barriers will go up sometime this fall. It's an initiative they've been working on since this past spring. Students, though, wondering why it's taken this long to make this happen.
I can only imagine the amount of pain and suffering that that poor student at the University of Toronto doing a computer science program felt that drove them to committing suicide. And I can only imagine what might have changed in their life had one person been willing to listen to their story. But nobody was. And when other students facing suicide go to their counselors, and they go to their teachers and their professors, and they say, "I need help," they are turned away. And it's not right. It has to change. And it will not change unless this message is put out there for the world to see that these people are only dangerous because of the bullshit that you put upon them. Thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for taking this into consideration. If you are considering suicide, if you know somebody that is considering suicide, please, for the love of God, I implore you, reach out to them and reach out to other people and be open to admitting your feelings, because if not, it only leads to tragedy and death and despair. Thank you for watching this video and have a wonderful day.